morning, everybody. Welcome to day 5 of the 27th AIDA Freediving World Championships. My name is Brandon. As you can now see on the screen below us, very fancy. I will be your commentator today, as I have been up till this point. I am a freediving instructor and also a breath training coach. Today we have, as always, an amazing group of athletes who are going to be competing. Today we are switching up the disciplines once again. We are doing constant weight no fins. So yesterday we saw divers diving without fins. Today we will still see divers without fins, but instead of pulling themselves down the line like we saw yesterday, they will be swimming down the line, not grabbing the line, just using their arms and their legs to swim and kick their way down. A lot of freedivers consider this the most pure expression of freediving, as you are not using any kind of fins or any other thing to pull yourself down. You are only using your body to do so. We have a great, like I said, a great number of athletes competing today. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 national record attempts. And in addition, from the day that we had to cut short a few days ago with the men's bifins, we have 3 athletes at the end of today, 2 of which are also competing for national records. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. We currently have Natalia Chernoborodova of Russia on the line, getting ready. If you take a look, you can see her dive computer stuck in her mask, back behind, right by her ear. Divers will do this because they set alarms to go off at certain depths to either remind them to charge a mouth fill, which is a technique used to equalize at deeper depths, or in order to remind them when they're getting close to the bottom. Okay, we are starting to see Natalia demonstrating our first look at the no fins technique. As you can see, it kind of looks like a breaststroke, although many people would yell at me for saying that it is like a breaststroke technique. But for our purposes, at least in this beginning part of the broadcast, we'll say that it's kind of like breaststroke. You can see there looks like there continues to be a bit of current from yesterday, although I have heard that as the day progresses it should get less and less. So Natalia is kicking to get down, a little bit of a turn, but noticing where she is on the line. Ooh, so she did pull herself down on the candy cane. A diver is allowed 1 pull, although I think that is generally only allowed for 1 pull to reorient yourself on the way up. So it'll be interesting to see what the judges say there. But she's on her way up. We see our first safety diver joining her. As always, safety being the biggest priority, making sure all of the divers are safe, doing this sport as safely as possible. Safety diver number 2 comes to join. As you can see, it's a combination of leg and arm. As she kicks, she reloads the arms up into a streamlined position, getting ready for the next arm pull. Here she comes. She's looking okay. A lot of people also consider constant weight no fins one of the most difficult of the freediving disciplines. And as we sort of saw, it is heavily influenced by current. So yesterday, divers had an easier time because they could at least pull themselves back to the line whenever they were pulling. But with Natalia, okay, so we do have a red card. They're either counting the red card for the pull at the bottom, or there was a little pull at the very top. Judges do have, or athletes do have the opportunity to protest. So after today's events, if they believe that the judge's decision is incorrect, they can go protest. The judges will then look at the footage again. The athlete can make their case, and then a new decision will be made, either upholding the previous decision or changing it to a different one.
Dive number 3, 2 minutes 14.
But as it stands right now, Natalia was given a red card, which means she will get no points for the dive. Yellow card is
1 minute.
Usually what happens when somebody turns early. They don't completely get their way all the way down to the bottom. So they do still get some points for that, and then a white card obviously being a clean dive where they have grabbed the tag at the bottom and completed it. You can see one of our medical team standing stoically, watching over the athletes, making sure everyone is safe.
30 seconds.
Up next we have Fumi Sonezaki of Japan. Her two goals during this competition are to get white cards in both free immersion, which I do believe she did 2 days ago, and in this event, this discipline.
Official top. Last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
She's also using the opportunity of being here, surrounded by all of these amazing athletes, to work towards some self-development, get questions answered, basically just have some fun.
Japan, 41 meter, dive time 2 minutes 5 seconds.
It's a 41 meter dive with an announced dive time of 2:05. As you can see at the beginning, she was working very hard she was doing lots of fast pulls and kicks in very quick succession. That is necessary to do because at the surface you are positively buoyant, and you need to cut through that positive buoyancy in order to get to the neutral and now the negative buoyancy, which we see here. So she is now sinking. As you can see, she has her fingers in the shape of an OK sign around the line, just so she doesn't lose it. As you can see, the current is pulling her legs away, and that is definitely creating a fair amount of drag. You would think that a little bit of drag isn't that big of a deal, but over the course of a 40-meter dive, or in the case of some of the dives that we're seeing today, 64 meters, drag on the line for that amount of time can add up to 20-30 seconds to your dive time.
145. Driver inside.
See if she's starting to join her. You can see what she's doing is trying to catch as much water as she can with her arms and her legs. Her hands are slightly cupped. During the middle of the pull, when she's over her shoulders, she's keeping her arms and elbows wide, which again is still catching water.
Break out.
Ooh. We have a blackout. As you can see, we have 3 safeties here checking on her. They're tapping on her cheek, they're blowing across her face, and they're telling her to breathe. Usually that will bring a diver back very, very quickly, as we have receptors in our face that know when we are above water. In the event that that doesn't happen, giving rescue breaths comes back very quickly.
The current is awful.
A little bit of a smile there. Like I said yesterday, a lot of the divers, if they have a blackout like that, usually they don't actually realize what has happened. So a lot of the times, a diver will have a quick blackout, regain consciousness, and then wonder why everyone is around them and hovering, looking at them, checking, making sure they're okay. Okay, up next we have Suwon Kim of South Korea doing another 41-meter dive with an announced dive time of 2:05. During the pre-comp, Suwon did set a national record at 42 meters in constant weight no fins, and she wanted to go for 43 today, but with the conditions, knowing the conditions that what they were yesterday, she decided it'd probably be safer to stick to getting a white card and playing the conditions, as it were.
Secure, the gate is on, the line is set at 42.
See, an excellent pool noodle setup. There she goes. Again, divers have to work quite hard to get through the positive buoyancy of the surface. One of the ways a diver can make the descent easier is by adding more weight, either around their waist or around their neck. But, that said, the more weight you bring down, the more weight you have to take up with you again. So as you can see, she's moving more towards just doing some kicks. Again, pulling yourself closer. Touchdown, grabbing a tag. Divers now have one pull on the candy cane that they can take, which means they can pull on the line to get themselves started again. Wow, and as we can see, she's almost at a 45-degree angle, swimming against the current. As we said yesterday, too, if a diver is having to swim back to the line again, that is energy being used towards moving towards the line and not being used to go directly up. She says this is her favorite discipline because she thinks, well, and I think she's right, it makes her look super cool. Just coming up. Going to a little bit of a pull.
Forward.
Breathe, Suwon. Breathe. Breathing.
I'm okay.
She's okay. Oof. She's looking okay. She's a little shaky up at the top, definitely hypoxic, but with some good recovered breathing on the surface, she brought herself back. Lips are looking nice and pink again. And we'll see what the judges say. We got a white card. Fantastic.
I saw her take
Very
it
nice.
actually. No, she was
Tag is there as well.
didn't have control anymore. I don't know how she
Whew. Yeah, definitely a tough dive.
she lost. She doesn't. 43 next step.
For people, I have some notes for Suwon, and the people that she wants to thank are Vera, her flatmate, and me for being a lovely commentator. Which is just so nice. And so very typically Suwon to just make me thank myself.
Can you beat this down, please?
Yes. 14.7.
Okay, as we can
21.
see,
Dive number 2, watch 2.
we've got some awesome dives lined up, some national record attempts.
Okay.
Up next we have Lily Crespi of France. In reviewing some of the footage and the comments from previous days, I've noticed that Lily is very active in the comments section and is definitely over there keeping me honest, answering things that I'm getting wrong, and I do very much appreciate that.
Now you have 5 minutes. I think.
Ooh, looking very nice and relaxed. She has a personal best in CNF of 50 meters, which is really great. So she's diving a little bit more conservatively today with an announced dive of 42 meters. Notice her wrists. As she completes the movement, she does a little flick of her wrists and then keeps them next to her sides in a streamlined position. Rather than bouncing immediately to getting out of position to reload her arms again, she lets herself glide a little bit.
30 seconds.
In this discipline, the name of the game is reducing drag. Well, it's getting as much drag as you can to pull through the water, and then reducing drag as quickly as you can at the end in order to use that momentum that you just created. Ooh, we got an early turn. She started diving about 10 years ago when she was 30, completely accidentally. She was backpacking in Southeast Asia and passed by total apnea in Koh Ta, Thailand. She decided to try it and signed up for a beginner course and was instantly hooked, which I think is fair for a lot of the athletes here. You take your course and you realize, wow, this is amazing. I want to go deeper, do more. Riding the positive buoyancy back up to the surface, conserving energy. Grabbing up nice and high on the line. She's okay. Surface conditions are fantastic today. Lightly wavy, but no chop at all. The way out here was like glass.
Yeah, I know.
giving a report of the current at the bottom, no doubt. We have our first yellow card. Yellow card means that the points that she gets from her dive will still count. They will not be the full amount that she would have gotten with a white card, but it is more than a red card, which gives you 0 points.
37.1. 97. 204.
How we doing, guys?
Up next we have Vera Giampietro of Switzerland, doing her breathe up now. Vera holds 11 national records in Switzerland, 2 of which she completed during the pre-competition just last week. Was it last week? It feels like an eternity ago. Yeah, she made 2 national records during her pre-comp. And if you ask me, that's extra impressive because when she arrived here, she was, I think she rolled her ankle almost right before she got here. And so in order to get off the airplane, they actually brought her a wheelchair and they rolled her off the airplane. In addition, I know she's also been struggling a bit with her ears. She's had, I think, 3 surgeries on one of her ears to repair an eardrum injury. And I mean, even still, she's been diving, she's been doing her training. Previously, she got here around when I got here, I believe, maybe a few days earlier, so about 3 weeks ago. And in that time, she's been pumping out really consistent dives. She's, again, did 2 national records during the pre-comp, and she's doing another national record attempt here now with a 43-meter constant weight dive, no fins, with an announced dive time of 2 minutes. Nice duck dive. If you notice from this angle, you can see that she puts her elbows out quite a bit. As you are moving from the wrist pull over down to the arm pull, you again want to be getting as much surface area as possible in contact with the area that you are pulling with. Getting now to her free fall. Relaxing through the current, making a little bit of adjustments there with her left leg.
Good start.
Reaching the bottom,
Third.
looking nice and relaxed.
1 minute. 40 meters.
Again, at the bottom,
First side.
you are now fighting the negative buoyancy that you have. So as divers begin their ascent back to the surface, they again have to work pretty hard. But as they get up to neutral buoyancy, it gets easier, and then positive buoyancy at the surface, they just ride to the top. Oop. I don't know about you guys, but okay, there we go, we're back. We're watching on the surface. That OK sign means the diver is in sight. That sign is being given by one of the judges. We see
2 minutes.
2 safeties on top. Okay, here she comes. Grabbing and pulling herself up.
Okay.
Slip off. She's okay. Lips looking nice and fresh though.
You've got one of those white things.
Yeah. She's got the tag. Yeah, looking looking totally fresh now.
That was a good workout.
Congratulations, it's a national record.
We got a white card. So it's a new national record for Switzerland. 43 meters, constant weight, no fins. Congratulations, Vera. Really nice dive, even if the conditions were not optimal.
43.0. Dive number 4, 2 minutes 6, watch 1.
We have 2 lines set up so that while one diver is diving or breathing up and getting ready, the next one is being set.
Block.
Divers have 5 minutes on the line to basically, as we see, lay there quietly and mentally prepare.
6 minutes.
We now have Laia Sopeña Spa of Spain, also attempting a 43-meter national attempt record.
Thank you.
As you can see, if you look very closely, Laia has the mask on her face, but has no strap to keep it on her face. She does what's called no hands equalizing, which means she has control over her eustachian tubes to open them at will. This is compared to divers who will do what's called a Frenzel equalization, which is where you move air from your oral cavity up into your nasal cavity and your sinuses, and then push the eustachian tubes open with the pressure that you build from pumping the larynx or the tongue. People who do no hands, they just have control of the muscles around their eustachian tubes and will just open them naturally and let the air flow from their nasal cavity up into their middle ears.
Dive time 2 minutes. National record.
Okay. Looks like we're having a bit of an issue with the dive eye, so I'll try and listen and hear what the depths are.
30 seconds.
Okay.
45 seconds.
She has a daughter who I believe is 5 or 6 years old, and they dive together all the time. Her daughter also dives with a mask just on her face, not strapped on.
Coming up.
Looks like we're coming up. Okay. As you can see, the divers are also being observed by sonar. What we see on the dive eye is not really, the depth is not really relayed to the judges. They use sonar in order to track the divers on their descent. We can sort of see there's a little bit of a downward line, and then it sort of looks like we're coming back up again. Yeah. Okay, so it looks like she's coming back up now. You can see sort of a V shape in there.
Breathe, Laia. Breathe. Breathe. Mask. Breathe.
There we go.
Judge.
She's on the surface.
Breathe. Say it.
I'm okay.
She's
Hold yourself
okay.
up. Hold yourself up. Breathe. Breathe.
The coach telling her to breathe. I believe that's Luca of Canada. Seems like she does not have the tag.
Very strong.
Yeah.
So we got a yellow card there. She wears, every diver wears a official dive computer provided by the judges to track what their depth was, track what their time was, and that is what is used for the official recording of depths and times. Again, what we see on Dive Eye is primarily just the depth of the Dive Eye drone, and it gives us a instant sort of look at what's going on and what depth we're at. But it is not the depth that the judges use for official scoring. Speaking of official scoring, you can see all of the official scores on the AIDAinternational.org website. If you go to AIDAinternational.org, you scroll down slightly, click on the 27th AIDA World Championship logo. You will then be taken to a page that has a menu across the top. If you click on Records, Start in Records, you will then see the results of today in real time and all of the days previous. Do skip day 1 and 2 as those were the official training days and there are no results of those days.
47, 48, 49, there's our 50.
If you could, I would love to see where everyone is tuning in from. Show your support in the comment section. Wave those flags. Give us a little whoop whoop. Let us know who you're here to support. I know a lot of the divers come back through later to watch their own dives, and they always love to see the support that you all give them. So make sure you guys are shouting loud and proud in the chat. Up next we have Clémentine Marie of France, doing a 45-meter dive with an announced dive time of 2:20. This is her first World Championship, and so her goal is to basically just enjoy some nice dives. Enjoy some nice dives, bring home a bunch of white cards, and just get the feeling of what it's like to perform in a world competition. Again, we see all the safeties and judge watching. Here to call for 20 meters. In the Freediving World Cup in July, it took place in Sharm el-Sheikh. She placed 3rd overall, took 2nd place in CNF, this discipline. Here we see one of the many things that the judges are doing. One of the judges is always recording to have footage of both the start of the dive and the end of the dive, checking to make sure surface protocol is followed. We're at 40 meters now. Yeah, checking to make sure that surface protocol is followed, and then in the event of a challenge, just having as much footage and evidence to be able to look at. So you can see she's coming back up now. Safety diver has already left. Safety divers will generally meet the diver at the top 1/3 of their dive.
3 minutes.
See her, not quite yet. She actually says her best dive was during CNF training. Everything, she says, felt was in place, is actually exactly right in how it needed to do. She had a really efficient stroke. She is okay. Grabbed up nice and high on the line. which I always love to see because when divers grab nice and low on the line, it makes me very nervous. That's because if your airways dip below the water, she's got a tag. If your airways dip below the water, judges will give a red card.
2 minutes, no official
White
time.
card. Fantastic. Unfortunately, we weren't able to see the footage of that dive, but I mean, from the look of it, it looks like it went really, really well. Oh, congratulations, Clementine.
130.
1分30秒前。
Up next, we have Yukine Toshigana of Japan doing a 47-meter dive with an announced dive time of 2:20.
One minute.
1分前。
One of the reasons she got into diving was because she wanted to spend more time diving with octopus.
10秒前。
And as somebody who has dived with octopus in the past,
20.
I dive a lot in Cape Town, which is the location where my octopus teacher was actually shot. That's where I did a lot of
10
my
秒前。
diving before I started.
5. 3.
Octopus are a ton of fun to swim with.
1. Official door.
They're
Plus
so
1.
curious.
2,
If you put your
3,
hand just on the
4,
ground in front
5, 6,
of one of their
7.
dens, they're so happy to just reach out and touch you and give a little grab on. It's very cool. Actually, there was one time, which I think I actually have the footage on my Instagram account,
Dive time 2
Brandon
minutes
Freediver,
20.
if you're interested. I placed my GoPro in front of an octopus den and swam away and let it sort of just sit there. And I looked down and the octopus was starting to reach out and grab it. So, not wanting to lose my GoPro, I swam down to get it again. And the octopus then put out 2 tentacles to grab it, and then 3 tentacles to grab it. And it got to the point where I was also getting pulled under the rock by this octopus. And eventually I had to use both hands to basically yank this GoPro away from the octopus, who I can only imagine was very upset with me when I took its prize away from it. We're at 40 meters now. Actually, as you can see, looks like there was a little bit of there's a turn, so it looks like she's coming back up now. It's sort of difficult to see. Sorry, I'm moving in a little bit, so please excuse if the audio has changed. I'm trying to see exactly what depth we're at. Okay, it's sort of difficult to see. She's been doing artistic swimming since she was 10 years old, and she is 41 years old now. Ooh. Breathe, breathe. She's okay. Yukine has said repeatedly, and I've said repeatedly, that got her tags. She said that her goal for this competition is to just have the best smile performance. And as always, she is showing that, has the biggest smile, and as I've said before, definitely first place for best smile. Congratulations, Yukin.
51.
45.7.
Can you open?
Very nice. Hugs all around. As I've said a few times, hello. As I've said a few times, the vibe here is such like a family, just a family and friendly atmosphere. Everyone is always hugging, everyone supporting each other. And I think that often comes from the fact that we all have very common experiences, whether we're doing a PB or we have sort of a rough dive. We all share these common experiences, and it's when one person is celebrating, we all want to celebrate. It's just a really cool experience. Come on up.
Hello.
Hello. Congratulations on your national record.
Thank you.
It looked amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You felt amazing.
Good. That's awesome. We're joined by Vera Gianpietro
Morning.
of Switzerland. Again, just completing a national record dive of 43 meters. Yeah, 43 meters.
Yeah. It was a good experience. There is some current though.
There is some current. We saw the current for sure.
Does it look like a flag?
You at one point I think you were about 45 degrees.
Oh, okay, good.
But as I was saying, you were relaxing through it, and that's, you know, even if you're out of position, that's one of the most important things to do. We have Cassandra Cooper of Canada going now. She did her first AIDA 2 course in when she was 18. She's 20 years old now, the youngest diver here. But she only actually started training for competitions about 6 months ago in January.
Yeah.
Which, I mean...
I remember we were together in Egypt as well.
Oh, really? Oh, amazing. Okay, yeah. I know she was there for a few months doing a lot of training.
Exactly. She's a very promising diver, definitely.
Yeah, no, she got here a day before I did, so about 3 weeks ago, and has been working very hard to get used to the water and adding a little bit of depth here and there, progressing slowly and responsibly, and yeah. Fortunately, it looks like the dive eye drone is struggling a bit. Yeah? So we're
because
just...
of the current, maybe, no?
Maybe because of the current.
Okay. It's such a shame. I would have loved to see her dive.
I know. Although we can see...
You can see Judge Pim.
You can see Judge Pim?
Making sure that everything is fine there.
Yeah. Always good. Yeah, I mean, we have tons of people observing the divers at all times. And as well the sonar watching. And we can also see too the line is not going straight into the water.
No.
So it definitely shows the impact that the current is having.
Okay, she's at 40 meters.
She's at 40.
You heard that?
So probably in her free fall at the moment. I think from what I saw and I can remember, the current is strong between maybe 25 to around 40, and then it sort of evens out a little bit.
Yeah, well, I remember that when I was close to the bottom, I had to really reach out to get the line again.
Yes,
to grab it because I was too far away.
Yeah. Okay, she's on her way back up at 45 meters. It looks like she got to the bottom depth. But you can see that top one of 3 lines, I believe, is the bottom plate. So that's where all of the tags are located. And then I think below that thick line at the bottom, I believe there is a bottom camera that is also watching divers to make sure that, again, judges having all kinds of information to look at to review dives in case there's a challenge. and also always trying to, give the athletes the benefit of the doubt. So all of this footage is there to be on the side of the athletes to try and get their dives to be successful.
No, she asked for a ride up. All good. She asked for a ride up.
Cassandra says that she loves free immersion because it's in her mind, the truest form of diving. Ooh.
Uh-oh.
She's on the surface, being supported by the safeties. She's breathing.
Yeah.
Got a little smile on her face. She's okay.
Yeah, she's okay. Okay, she's chatting with safeties. She has the tag, so she got to the.
She has the tag.
She got to the bottom.
But it is a red card at the moment.
Yeah. So probably the conditions today had
There's been a
very
bit of an
big
impact.
of course.
Yeah.
I personally was going a little bit slower than normal, trying to stay calm.
But yeah, I mean, and it's it's not just about like I've said before, you are announcing what you're going to dive the night before.
Yeah, but
so
you don't know exactly what the conditions are gonna be.
Right, so you have to make a guess.
I mean, yes, you make a guess. Some people actually check the conditions, the forecast before.
Yeah.
I personally didn't. But in any case, it's the sea. It's not a swimming pool. So you have to work with what nature gives you.
Yeah, absolutely.
That day, it's part of the game.
Part of the game, yeah. And I mean that's why a lot of the athletes got here so early, was to get used to the conditions, both good and bad.
Yeah.
And that obviously always helps in keeping relaxation and ensuring that you're as prepared as you can be for any eventuality that you face.
Oh, now we have Brigitte.
We have Brigitte Vanegas.
Vanegas. I think it's pronounced.
Of France.
Yeah.
Doing a 51-meter dive.
Yeah, she's very experienced.
She's announced dive time of 2:31. She is 55 years old.
Yes. She's a legend.
Yeah.
In French freediving.
Yeah.
It's an honor to have her here with us today and in the competition.
Let's see. It's sort of difficult to see. We're looking at the sonar now, and it's sort of difficult to see in the top. Looks like there's a lot of interference. When she's doing her breathe up, she's meditating, she's working on her breath control, and doing a little bit of a visualization. Okay, there we can see 45 meters. I asked all the divers if they have ever blacked out and what they have learned from that experience. And in her career, she has never had a blackout, which is really amazing and is really, athletes can go their whole career without having a blackout. And
of course, if you listen to yourself and you're conservative, normally blackouts are rare.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I think, you said it, conservative and a slow, gradual approach to training, progressing your depth is key to that. There's definitely...
And obviously not everyone is the same, like we're all different, and what is conservative for someone
is totally...
maybe too slow for someone else.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and again too, you have to take into consideration the conditions of where you're diving, your mental state when you're diving, your physical state, if you're stressed.
Yes.
All of these things play into your dive.
Yes, when I learned freediving, my instructor at the time, she always made me write down and give like points to all of this aspect of the condition to understand where I stood, and then according to that decide what to announce.
Okay.
It's important.
Yes, definitely. Ooh. Okay. Keep breathing.
Okay.
Keep breathing. Keep breathing.
Yeah.
Keep breathing. She's very hypoxic, but
Yeah, but she's managing.
she's
Ooh la la la.
oof. Grab higher.
Okay, she's smiling.
She's
I
okay.
think she controlled this difficult moment very well.
Ooh-wee. That was very, very close. We'll see what the judges say, but I think she's gonna get a white card.
I didn't see her dipping her airway, so I think she's good. But then again, I'm not a judge.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay, conferring with the judge in the water. We have a white card.
Yes.
Amazing.
Bravo.
Wow. I mean, that just goes to show how important it is to do your covered breathing on the surface.
Oh yeah.
Like, and focusing on doing that before you start to take off all of your other dive stuff and try and do the okay and everything. Like, because you can do your covered breathing and then sort of stop the recovered breathing and then still get sort of hypoxic and
Yeah, of course.
come close to a samba.
Yeah.
Samba being a
Loss of motor control.
yes, term used in freediving to describe when you are on the verge of having a blackout. So it's sort of, in a way, it looks like a samba because you are dancing a little bit.
Yeah, you have spasm in your muscles.
Yes, yeah.
Oh wow, now we have Fatima Karok from Hungary.
We now have Fatima doing a 64, sorry,
She announced 64.
which is a national
Is
record.
this the deepest dive of the day?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep. This is going to be a national record attempt.
Fatima's a very, very strong diver, as most of us know.
Very strong, yeah.
She had no accidents right before the competition in the
Yeah.
official training day, and it seems that she recovered very, very, very quickly. She has an exceptionally strong mindset, so even though,
Yeah, I mean, she's gone through quite a lot, like you, to get to this point.
yeah.
I mean, she was training in Dahab and contracted COVID and had it for about a month.
Yeah.
She's been battling through shoulder injury. She's been doing a lot of really intense base training. And then on the, like, as you were saying, on the pre-comp day, she was going to do CNF and hit her head, and instead spent the rest of the day in the hospital.
But she never lost her smile,
Never lost her smile,
nor
and
motivation.
I mean, and the other day she did another national record in free immersion, and I mean, again, such an incredibly strong diver.
Yeah.
Definitely someone to be watching out for. And actually, during the pre-comp, she did a 63-meter CNF dive without weights on her neck because she forgot them.
Oh yeah, I remember this.
And she came up nice and fresh.
Yeah.
I was coaching her that day, and she looked totally fine.
Yeah.
It looks like she's touching down now,
Yeah,
grabbing a tag.
we believe in you, Fatima.
Absolutely.
And then, yeah. Okay. I know
65.
that her family is here to support her. I'm very happy for her.
Her mother and father are here. I actually
Yeah.
ended up meeting them yesterday when
wow.
I ran by to drop some stuff off for her. So they're both watching now. And then she also wanted to thank her coach, Julia Mause of Argentina, and Aran Solomon and Dean Schausch, who is here, who's going to be competing in CNF as well, and is a national record holder for Great Britain in the discipline. She's being met by the first safety diver. Okay,
Okay.
things are still looking good. She basically lives wherever she's training, so she's a nomadic freediver, following the good diving, the good weather, and the good people. Okay. Ooh, so we're hearing.
Yeah, we're
there's been a
hearing
blackout.
blackout. Oh no.
Oof. They're tapping on her cheek, doing blow tap talk, giving some rescue breaths.
No, yeah. Okay, the doctor has been called.
Doctor's been called, so they're going to
Everyone
remove her
is
from the
ready.
line.
Everyone is ready to take actions.
Yep. Okay, it looks like she's breathing.
Breathing again.
They're gonna move her. Oh, I heard a little groan, which is usually what she does when she's finished a dive.
Yeah. Usually it's a sign of
Usually it's a sign of
celebration, but
celebration.
today it's a sign of her being back.
Yep.
So okay,
So
she's conscious. She's in the hands of the doctors now. They're putting her on a boat.
Yep.
10
So
meters.
she's smiling a little bit, so that's always good. So what they'll do on the boat is they'll give her oxygen. They'll check on her, make sure she's okay.
64.0,
Yeah.
259.
I mean, we didn't see what happened exactly in the last part of the dive, but knowing her,
58, we need that line.
she certainly did her best. She
Definitely did her best.
it's a strong dive, and maybe with today's conditions and the fact that she probably still has to recover fully from the accident that unfortunately she had.
Yeah.
And that justifies what happened. But we're happy that she's okay now.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it does show. You know, I was saying earlier that if you are being pulled away from the line, or if you're holding onto the line in some way, the drag from the clip will add extra time onto your dive.
Yes, that's true.
And the deeper that you go, the more opportunity you have to add drag onto your dive.
Of course, and the longer
Yeah.
it is. I didn't see her dive time. But in any case.
Yeah.
Okay.
We now have Marianne Simone.
Line set 57 meters.
Simone?
Marine Simoni?
Yeah.
Simone?
Line set.
Probably.
Probably.
From Belgium.
From Belgium, yes.
She's also attempting a national record.
60-meter dive with an announced dive time of 2:40. 25 meters now. I asked her what the most important part of her training has been for this competition, and she said resting.
Yeah, she's totally right.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
not only for this competition, the most important part is recovering.
absolutely. Yeah, I mean, being in a place like this where there's amazing depth, the water is perfect, the conditions are perfect, there's this urge to want to, be in the water all the time and be diving and be trying to get yourself ready and all of that stuff. And one of the wisest things you can do before a competition is rest.
Totally, yeah. One of the mistakes some people make is actually not taking enough time to rest before the competition, especially after an intensive training period of a few weeks.
Absolutely.
If you don't actually give your body and your mind time to recover from that, you're weaker.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you are at your peak.
Right. Absolutely.
Coming up.
So that is a very
meters.
wise piece of advice that she's giving all of you at home. Let's see. So her last competition was the French Championships, which she ended with a CNF dive of 56 meters, which is 4 meters shallower than her attempt now. She says she couldn't be on the podium as a Belgian. The Belgian CMS doesn't want the depth records to be official because they think depth is too dangerous. And then she puts a smiley face. So, I don't quite know what that means, but I'm going to trust that she knows what she's saying. One of her best dives, she notes, was diving on the Great Barrier Reef. She hadn't taken a course yet, but was doing it between scuba diving and that sort of stuff.
Oh, we heard blackout.
We hear another blackout call. On the surface, you can see the divers tapping on her cheek, telling her to breathe, giving a recovery breath.
She opened her eyes.
Eyes are open. She's
Conscious.
She's conscious. Getting her to move. Again, unclipping her from the line. All the divers are wearing lanyards, which keep them strapped to the line. That is a safety precaution that we take here in order to make sure that in the event of any kind of deep blackout, there is a counterweight that we can drop that will pull the diver up very quickly and get them to the surface for recovery and medical attention. Again, medical staff taking care of her, giving oxygen.
Okay, can I have at least some safety to set the line for me? And I need all safety
So
to have
she's
the line.
looking okay. Yeah, some really tough conditions today.
58 meters.
And as we were saying, it's tough to sort of balance between wanting to get a placement in the competition, but also, you know, diving safely and also playing the conditions. You know, someone at home might think that, you know, you're just showing up, you're diving down, you're coming back up, and that's it. But it is, I mean, so much more nuanced than that.
58 meters.
58, one more. Wait.
And yeah, being a competition is so important. Obviously, everyone tries to do their best and go that extra
58.
meter
Yeah.
to get to the tag in order
Yeah.
to, you know, celebrate the long training periods and the sacrifices we all make. But then it's not easy to decide to stop before.
Completely, yeah.
It's very tempting. You're just there.
You're just right there. And I think with CNF, it's also one of the most shallow disciplines. And so I think, at least for me, I know there's this tendency when I'm doing CNF to be like, well, you know, I've done 50, I've done 50 with bifins on, you know, I can get down to, you know, like a solid 40, maybe 45 doing CNF, but it's so much more difficult and so much more involved in the diving, and yeah, there's this tendency to sort of overestimate what you can do simply because, at least for me, simply because I have experience with other disciplines. It looks like we have a red card here for Elena, but that could also be from the previous dive. It just has not been updated yet.
So guys, holding for an hour. Today starts 1 hour.
Elena Knesna should be diving next. Yeah.
Okay,
Marine is breathing oxygen.
He's talking, I think.
Yeah, looking okay. Probably just frustrated. I mean, I know I would be.
But she did her best. She should be proud of herself. She showed up, she tried.
Absolutely.
And she's fine now, so
yeah.
It is frustrating. But
I agree with that, so
yeah.
when we brought up
it is frustrating. Exactly. And
that's still a very strong dive.
Absolutely. I mean, I can't do 58 meters. Wait, no fins? No way. Absolutely not.
Not yet.
Not yet. Not yet. With training, hopefully.
Yeah.
So just simple move.
So,
Let's move, guys, and make sure we move. Someone's holding us.
Yeah, not quite sure what's going on. We may have had a bit of a delay in the timing.
Good job.
yeah. Or, but that's just a,
Unfortunately, that.
I don't know if it's true or not, or maybe she decided not to dive because of the conditions.
Yeah, that could be as well. It could also be that Elena is already under the water.
Yes, I was wondering.
We don't know. So I will proceed thinking that she is under the water. 39 years old, from Czech Republic.
One of the strongest divers of this competition.
Yeah, definitely. I believe she placed third in free immersion. Shoot, I should probably have the results in front of me.
Ahmad,
That'd be a good call to
help
have.
me over here.
Are we pulling up?
Yeah.
She does hold the national record for depth at the moment.
Yeah, I
She's
know.
been freediving for quite some time.
Yeah, for about 20 years.
Yeah.
Started around 19 or 20. And actually, she also notes that the most important part of her training has been sleep. So
Yeah, wise people.
we've got these wise athletes dropping the knowledge bombs. One of the things that she would like people outside of freediving to know about her is that she has a lot of animals at home and would one day love to have a farm.
A farm.
A farm,
Aw.
yeah.
Well, we wish her to have the farm.
Absolutely. And I mean, and as somebody who I have, I think, 7 ducks myself at home in South Africa.
That's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, although, you know, in the morning we let them out, they run around in the front yard, the dogs sort of keep them corralled in, and it's, I don't know, it's nice to have them around, and then, you know, every now and then they'll chase the dogs because the dogs are getting too close, and the ducks have a lot of attitude. It's fun. It's a lot of fun.
Good. So,
Yeah.
well, it seems that Elena just didn't test my noodle.
That is your noodle? I don't know how it ended up there.
Okay, it is true that I forget my things everywhere.
But I was thinking about that, and
Well, it was the safest row to get it, okay?
that's true. And I was thinking about it too, and when I realized that when a lot of divers lose their stuff, it's because they've had an amazing dive.
Because we're too relaxed, we don't
You're
care.
too relaxed, and you had a fantastic dive, and all you're thinking about is
And
how
we're not
amazing you
jealous of
feel.
our stuff.
Yeah.
And especially pool noodles, stuff like that, actually, are sometimes left on boats because then, well, other people can use them.
That's true. Yeah.
You don't need to, yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
You just need them for your dive. So,
Yes. Exactly.
yeah, we all can swim.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
Okay.
Okay, it looks like we
So-
have the bottom plate pulled up.
Yeah.
So
So we know that Elena
Don't-
wasn't there.
Elena was not on the line.
Either. Okay.
We could either
they're
be-
doing safety checks, I guess.
Doing safety checks. We could be having a bit of a break.
Checking that all the tags, that there are still enough tags. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. We've got one of the medical staff jumping in. Chaos and anarchy. No, not really. I mean, it seems like we're taking a break at the moment, so
Yeah.
I'm sure we're all good.
Well, the judges and the organizer know what they're doing. So.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm just gonna continue to sit up here and talk until someone tells me otherwise. Because that is my job, and it is what I enjoy doing.
Good.
Yeah. What is your favorite discipline?
Monofin.
Then I have
monofin.
Right. Yes, I love it. It makes me feel so powerful and
Yeah.
safe and yeah, strong and happy.
Yeah. Amazing. And are you doing monofin this competition?
Yeah, of course I'm doing monofin.
I have your monofin.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, I need to get that back to you.
Yeah, but you borrowed from me.
I did borrow it, yeah. I did. It was so much fun to use. Oh my gosh.
Good.
I still have some blisters on my feet from using it, but I mean that's what happens when
it is part of the game at the beginning.
Part of the game.
I mean, but with any sport, you have to suffer a bit, right?
there's maybe a little bit of suffering.
I live in.
I've got news.
Yes,
Yeah?
we have news.
Yes.
Official news.
Let's hear some news.
Official news, yeah. So competition is suspended for at least 1 hour.
Okay.
In 1 hour, we will reassess the current
Okay.
situation and decide if it's going on or not.
Okay.
Okay.
Fantastic.
So that's it.
Okay. So in that case, I assume I'm not going to be talking to a
Oh
blank screen
yes,
for.
you will.
Oh, I will. Okay.
Bye. Good luck.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, send us someone to interview. Okay.
Sorry, am I actually talking for the full hour, or am I?
No. Well, in any case, just
Try to send somebody.
Okay.
And then I'll
just
give you...
make sure that the camera is showing it here.
Yeah. Look at me, Brandon Reed, the best commentator in the world.
It's not showing you anyways.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah, there we go.
So okay, as you guys may have heard, the competition is suspended. The current is too strong, and the judges decided to suspend everything for at least an hour.
Yep. And I think that's in tandem with the safety decision. I'm sure safeties and medical staff are also like, okay, we want to, make sure that.
Yeah, and they have already had their hands full. So
Yeah.
this is obviously a sign that the conditions are maybe a little bit too tough today. But this will give you the opportunity to interview some athletes, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely.
So-
We'll see who's on the boat still.
Okay.
Because I know a lot of the divers, except for you, of course. Once they're done with their dive, they usually jump on the boat and head back to start their rest days.
Yeah.
But-
But I love being on boats. So
Yeah, amazing.
and talk about freediving. So
I do as well. I love freediving.
Yeah. Well, from up here, actually, the conditions are beautiful. Too bad that you cannot see it because
Yeah.
actually there are no waves.
Yeah, we can
It's
actually
just,
look over here a little bit in this area over here. I mean, the surface is like glass basically.
It's flat, yeah, almost.
Yeah,
But-
nearly almost flat.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So
things are not as what they seem under the water.
no. So we asked your colleagues to
Yeah.
get us some free divers to interview.
Yeah, and I will also request that anybody watching, either on the live stream or on Instagram. Actually, you know what? In the live stream, let's go to that. I'm going to pull up the live stream now, and we can answer any questions that you guys have.
Oh, that's a brilliant idea.
Thank you. I only have brilliant ideas. No, that's a lie.
And yeah.
Most of my ideas are bad ideas, but every now and then I have a good one.
Yeah, that's good. Anyways, this is brilliant. So
Okay, I'm gonna turn down the volume so I don't have to hear myself talk. Okay, so it looks like we have the announcement in the chat that things are being reassessed in an hour.
okay, bring it on, guys. Questions.
Yeah, so questions. What do you got? Let's look here. Dun, dun, dun. Scrolling up a little bit. Yes, yeah, the current is quite strong, so that's partially why we have stopped using the dive eye for today. Yeah, a lot of blackouts, probably because of the current. As I was saying before, the lanyard, if it's being pulled taut, or if you are creating friction with your fingers around the rope, that adds drag, which adds time.
Yeah, and also it's more difficult to get to keep a streamlined position, like vertically, if you're pushed on the side.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And yes, we do have a backup day set for September 30th, so if we do have to cancel the whole day today, there is a backup day for the 30th scheduled.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's some. In any case, there are still some dives from the previous days that
Yep.
were supposed to happen today or on another day.
Maybe on the 30th, yeah.
So yeah, it's fine. We have time, and the important thing is that nobody really hurts themselves. So.
Exactly. Yeah. As we've been saying throughout the whole competition, safety is the #1 priority of the divers. That's why we have 4 safeties on each line. We have one safety diver being the deep safety diver, one being a more shallow safety diver, a safety diver on the surface who, in the event of a blackout, takes over, supporting the head while the other divers do the rescue breaths or do the low tap talk.
Yeah, no, they're very well organized.
Very well organized. And then a 4th safety diver for dives over 80 meters. And I think we actually had the scooter come down for that dive. For Fatima's, and I think the 60-meter dive as well.
Oh, in these conditions,
yeah,
it's a good idea.
Yeah, definitely.
Although we don't have the precise information about the depth of her blackout, so I don't think it was that deep. But,
I don't think it was that deep. She came up pretty quickly after they announced that there was that they spotted the blackout. Let's see.
Questions?
Let's see.
Don't be shy.
Looking now. Brandon, hello. Hope you're enjoying your time there. Oh, hey Ghassan. How's it going?
That's Cassandra.
Ghassan. He's one of my patrons on Patreon.
Okay.
Where I lead breath sessions 3 days a week. Hello. We lead breath sessions for static and training and that sort of stuff.
Okay, good.
So hey Ghassan.
Wonderful. We have a champion here.
We have a champion who's joining us. I will scoot over. Vera, you can sit down here.
Do you want to?
No, I only want the stickers.
Oh, you only want the stickers. I don't have the stickers with me today.
Hey, come here. Come here. 2 minutes.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay, everybody pile in. We've got some guests.
Okay, we got some guests. Sit there, please. Come on. Don't be shy.
Over here we have Irena.
Good there.
Sorry, where are you from again?
From Czech Republic.
Czech Republic. Yes, you were just about to dive. And Anna, who
Can you
did.
please sit there?
Anna did one of the openers this morning.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome to the crow's nest, as I've been calling it.
It's very nice.
Yeah.
From up here, the sea looks very calm.
Mm.
Yeah, exactly. This is what we were saying. It's a beautiful holiday.
On the boat.
On the boat.
Yeah, on the boat.
So, girls, what do you like most about freediving?
So today I dove another 60 meters for clean oceans.
Amazing. Yeah.
Oh,
Do you want
yeah.
to talk about what you're doing for them?
I can. Where's the camera actually?
Camera's right there.
Ah, okay. Oh, great. Yes, so I'm for every dive that I do, be it in training or in a competition, 1 meter I dive will be 1 kilogram of plastic that is not entering the ocean. So it's a company cleanup from Berlin. They are a startup, and they are cooperating with other companies in Indonesia and India, where they support social organizations, where, for example, women, they are picking up the plastic and bringing it back to plastic collecting stations. They're doing recycling and upcycling. So so it's really cool. So I mean, everybody of you probably knows a problem in such countries like in Bali, when there's the rain season and all the plastic comes into the ocean, especially for us freedivers when we're in the ocean training and there's lots of plastic that's a bit stinging you everywhere and biting you because of all the bacteria. And what the company does is they're just preventing that from happening. So
Amazing. Yeah. It's a really cool initiative. And there's a video on your Instagram about it as well, yeah?
Yeah, exactly. So I do have a video on my Instagram. It's Green and Blue Mermaid, my Instagram. And,
gotta do the plug.
They also do have an Instagram for sure. It's just cleanhub.io.
Cleanhub.io, right.
So how can you help?
How you can help? So basically big companies can also help to distribute to that campaigning what they're doing.
Okay.
So for example, there are companies that are kind of sponsoring what they do to prevent plastic from entering the ocean. Yeah.
Okay, brilliant. brilliant. So that get an idea also how to help clean up as well.
Yeah, yeah. So they are kind of bundling such projects and make it available for bigger companies to invest in such projects and make them stronger.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. It's a really cool
really
thing.
good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
Okay.
how is it? What's the plan here? Situation we're in.
We're just gonna sit and talk.
Yeah, with you in the middle, just stay here
Yes.
for 1 hour.
No.
I only want to see your place.
Okay. It's nice, right?
Yes.
Okay, Irene just left us.
Yeah, I mean the current. I've been doing the opening dive just now, and there was a current, but I think it's even picked up a little bit. So there's even more current right now.
There we
Yeah.
go. We got a little sign across the bottom.
Oh yay.
Nice. So give me 1 second. I'm just gonna check
yeah,
something here.
Correct?
That's nice. That's correct. Yes.
Why does it end with I? Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know.
That's their Instagram. Cleanhub.io. That's their Instagram.
I'm back.
Okay. Well,
Awesome.
wonderful.
I was checking on both Fatima and Marianne. Marine, yes. They're both down there. They're talking, sitting, hanging out. So they're fine.
Okay, maybe I can go and call them if they want to talk.
It's up to you.
I can try.
It's up to you. I think maybe let them rest.
Okay.
Let them rest, relax. We won't have them climb up the stairs and then the ladder to get up
Okay,
here.
that's true. That's true. It's pretty tricky to get up.
It is
Yeah.
quite tricky. I mean,
You have to climb up.
I've
Did you
been.
already celebrate your national record?
No, I haven't. We're gonna celebrate that a national record and a PB. With
And a
nice PB cake later together. What do you say?
PB cake.
Yeah, no, it was a very good dive.
Amazing.
I really needed it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. What a beautiful day.
Yeah.
It is a beautiful day. Too bad for the diving.
Yeah, too bad we can't dive. All right.
Did we check on any apps or what is the forecast?
I haven't.
I have not. I had heard that the current is supposed to decrease over the day.
Okay, good.
So hopefully in the next 45 minutes we will be able to get back in the water again.
Okay.
But then if not, we'll be able to. We have the redo day on the 30th,
Yep.
which we can use as well. All right. Comments.
Okay, guys.
What do you guys got?
Bye. I'm gonna go
Were you
downstairs.
leaving?
Yes, we're leaving you.
We are both abandoning
Yes.
me. Oh, fantastic. Okay, good.
Maybe we'll come back later.
No worries.
We'll send you someone cooler that has something
Oh my
interesting
gosh.
to say.
No. Everyone who comes up here is cool in my book, so
Aw,
I know.
lovely.
Cool.
Bye, Brandon.
Thank you so much for
Bye,
joining.
everyone. No worries. Oh God. So, slippery now.
So Vanderfem says maybe Brandon can do his national record breath hold while we are streaming. So clearly Vanderfem has looked at my Instagram and sees that I am an aspiring American national record holder in static apnea. I have not done much training recently, mostly because I've been doing more coaching than training. But I do have a personal best static breath hold of 7.5 minutes dry, which I haven't repeated in a while, but I mean, it's my PB, so I have to just keep shouting it, right? Let's see, what else? Let's do a quick check-in. Who's here from where? And while you guys are starting to write, I'm going to look through my notes quickly. The other thing too is I can talk about who currently holds the records in this discipline. There are no world record attempts today. There are...
Brandon, are you alone?
I am alone, yes.
You need somebody?
It probably wouldn't hurt to have somebody. Good stuff. Cool. We got Dahab, Canada. Quite a big crew from Dahab here. Both the safeties, the judges, and a lot of the divers spend tons of time in Dahab. Dry contest. Hello.
Hi, Brandon.
Long time no see.
Long time no see.
Welcome. Let me scoot over a little bit.
Thank you.
Do you want to introduce yourself one more time?
Yeah. So nice to see you, Brandon. I'm Christian Maldame. I'm the captain coach from the French national team. Happy to join you today. We have a break.
Yep.
Competition break.
A little bit of a break, yes.
I was in the water this morning with the girls, and really the current is massive. There's a strong current from the surface to the bottom, and really the girls were struggling a lot to go down and up. We could see the girls really not able to maintain their verticality, and really on the side was an important angle to reach the line.
Yeah, absolutely. And we just had a question of where we stopped in the order, and we stopped with Marine was the last dive, I think. Yeah. Yes.
Alina was preparing, but she did not dive finally.
Yep.
So now it's postponed. Let's see if the current can lower down, and of course up to this, if the competition can start again.
Yep. Yeah. If we can start in about 45 minutes, we will. Mm-hmm. If we can't, we will just reschedule for the bad weather day on the 30th of September.
That's it. The question is concerning the athletes that made their dive already is a question of fairness, because of course for those who did a dive and got a white card, for example, of course they did that in these conditions. So if the organization is postponing the end of the dives, the remaining dives to another day, then the question is they will not compete in the same conditions. Yeah. Which of course is not fair for the athletes that did their dive.
Yeah, so, absolutely. We were sort of wondering about that, on if the judges in this case would make an exception to that and just reschedule the whole thing, or if they would let the record stand, or if athletes would be able to protest their dives with respect to the conditions.
That's a question. So maybe for the white card, they probably don't want to do it again.
Probably not. Yeah.
I'm not sure. Of course that they won't, but for the red cards, of course, then probably they will want to make a protest and say, okay, if the conditions were too bad, and of course so let's do it again. Let's do this dive again. But the red cards, most of the time, were blackouts. Yeah. And so there's another question regarding their ability to dive again, and what the doctor will tell them if he authorizes them to dive again.
Yes, because every time a diver has a blackout, they need to go get checked by a doctor.
Exactly. Yeah. So there's a first check on the boat after the dive, after the blackout, so they're taking care of the girls. Right now, some are under oxygen. They are breathing oxygen. All are well. I must say it's important to know that they are all fit and well. But the doctors are checking that everything is fine. So that's on the platform, and then the next day they have to go back to the doctor, and that the doctor is checking that all the parameters are fine for them, and that they will be able to dive. If there are repeated blackouts during the competition and even the trainings, of course, in these cases, most of the time the doctor is taking the decision to cancel the dives for this person. It happened. Already during the competition, some of the free divers, because they did repeated blackouts during training and or competition. Of course, then they were not allowed to dive again.
Yeah. So I have a question here from somebody on the internet who is asking, what does a year in the life of a freediver look like? Are they doing depth all the time? Is there a dry season? And I was wondering if you could answer that.
Excuse me, can you tell me the question again?
So it's, what does a year in the life of a freediver look like? So what does training look like for a freediver? Depth, dry training, statics, that sort of stuff.
Good, that's a very good question. This question is not easy to answer because it depends a lot on the location, where you're based and where you're living. I was talking yesterday with some members of the French team, and for the people living inland, most of the time they have a winter season during which they are training on land, maybe dry static, etc. on land, and doing cardio, maybe fit training also. And going to the pool, of course. So they try to go to the pool, doing dynamics, statics, with teammates in clubs. And then in the summer, then they go back to depth training because the water is getting warmer, the conditions are better, and so they go back to depth training. Maybe so in France, for example, the season, the depth training season is from end of April till end of October, maybe around 6 months, and the rest of the time it's more pool training and dry training. Yeah. So this is one possibility. Another possibility is for people living directly on a very good spot. And there are some spots like that in the world. We can talk about, for example, Dahab. Dahab. We can talk also, of course, the Bahamas also.
Dean's Blue Hole. Yeah.
So in these locations, of course, you can train all year long. And so for these people training for depth, some are doing most of their trainings are just depth training. Yeah. So they train at depth. Of course, sometimes they add also some dry training, fit training. Whatever they can, of course, they have a whole training for to get ready, but they practice depth frequently. I mean, frequently, as well, according to what they want to do. So they can dive the whole year long, and that's a major help for them, of course. And this is a good point.
Yeah. Well, it's important to note too that when you are diving, when you're training depth, especially as you get deeper and deeper and deeper, you can do fewer and fewer training dives in a day, and that's due to the amount of gas that sort of moves into your body with a breath hold at deeper depths. And so, as you are doing your training, it's not like the best people in the world are doing 5 or 6 dives to 100 meters every single day. They do one dive down to 100 meters and then take the next day and a half or 2 days off.
That's it, exactly, Brandon. So the deep divers, they don't dive each day, of course. Maybe in the beginning of the season when they're doing shallow dives or training the equalization skills, then they work on a more frequent basis. But as soon as they dive deep, then of course they do far less trainings at depths. So for example, most of the time it can be 2 dives per week maximum. Yeah. So they take time to rest their bodies, and of course this is also due to decompression sickness, to avoid to avoid tiredness due to this decompression symptoms.
Yes. And the other thing to note is the people that I've talked to, they follow a periodization schedule. This is pulling back on my experience, my bachelor's degree as an exercise physiologist. But basically you start with your base training, which is anything from maintenance activities like running or rock climbing or yoga or that sort of stuff, maintaining your flexibility, and building up your strength. So doing strength training that's just general overall body strength. Then from there you move to a more specific period of training where you're actually training the individual muscles to become more like what you need them to be during the competition. Then from there you have a tapering off period where you've increased the intensity, rising up and up and up, and then you taper off for the last few weeks before you start your competition season, and then you do maintenance exercises during your competition season. So stuff like yoga, stuff like easy weightlifting sessions, that sort of stuff, where you're not actually trying to put on any muscle or any mass, you're just trying to maintain what you already have.
That's it, correct, Brandon. That's typically the kind of training on a year that you can do, having phases, what you call as the micro phases that you can apply to your trainings, maybe on 3 weeks, 1 month, and then you change these macro phases, and then you have micro phases also, during which you have small points of training, and you are trying to adapt your body and to future dives.
Julia from Apnea Bali says hello.
Okay. Julia Mus Dominguez?
Maybe.
Yeah, I think so.
She's on here as Apnea Bali, but
okay, very
just
good.
Put Julia.
Okay. Hello, Julia. Would be happy to see you again. Such a long time.
Another question is, how does one usually get into competitive diving from amateur to world championships?
Okay, that's a good question. It depends a lot on your motivation, but also on the structure of your federation and how your local federation is working. I mean that there are many AIDA representation all over the world, many countries. I don't know exactly the number of countries. There are 40 countries here at the World Championships, but there can be many more in the world. I don't know the exact number.
Yeah.
And of course, if you want to participate to World Championship, then of course you have to freedive. You have to have a license, an AIDA license in your own club, or that you can refer to your AIDA national. And then, of course, you then have to ask your AIDA national about what are going to be what is the selection process to be able to participate to these World Championships.
Yeah.
So, according to the country you're living in, there might be some internal competition between freedivers.
And that's how it is in France.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It depends on the country. There are some countries where there are very strong freedivers, and of course, there is a selection process in which you have to do some minimum dives, minimum maybe static times or dynamics that will allow you to be selected. You have to participate to certain events, certain competition. And in some countries, there are not a lot of freedivers. There's not a lot of internal competition.
Yeah.
So the selection process is a lot more easy. Maybe you ask the guy from the AIDA National, the president from this AIDA National, and you will be easily selected, if I can say that, of course, but you still need to be a freediver.
Yes, definitely helps to know how to freedive.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that's exactly right. So the first step is to obviously, if you're a complete amateur, if you haven't taken a freediving course already, do so. It'll teach you the basics. Your instructor will sort of coach you through the proper technique and form. You'll learn all of the safety things that are a huge priority for our sport, and get to know a bit of the physiology as well. Then from there, doing competition, one of AIDA's competitions, signing up as a representative with AIDA, and then from there, figuring out what your local area requires. So that's a really good question. Let's see, what else we got? What are the popular places to go train around the world, like Daha, Roatan, Bali, Bahamas?
Bahamas, south of France is very good also to train. Nice, especially for deep training. You can go to Philippines, different location. You can go to Thailand.
Yeah.
Thailand. You can go to so you have Bali, Lombok. Well, yeah, probably some other spots in the world. I mean, I know. So depends on where you can find clubs.
Yep.
And motivated freedivers also.
Yes. Also making sure you're never diving alone. That is the biggest rule. But yeah. And so then what would you say are the best places to dive in the world for fun diving?
Fun diving, there are many nice spots to visit. I mean, it depends what you prefer the most. This can be from cold waters to warm waters. I was talking yesterday with Canadian was talking to me about the beautiful waters of the Pacific in Canada, which are very cold, but can be very interesting to make fun exploration.
Yep.
But of course, you can go in Mexico, you can go on the western coast or eastern coast, beautiful places. South America also, a lot of places. It's difficult to find one spot because there are so many beautiful spots that where you can free dive and have fun and enjoy watching at sea life, lots of fishes and coral reefs. You can go to Egypt, Australia, all
Australia, of course,
lot of tropical countries.
I have to say South Africa as well. My home country where I stay. I mean, I've spent time. I've been diving with friends and had a whale and a calf swim by. Dove with hundreds of seals, dolphins, mantas, turtles.
Sharks maybe also?
Small sharks.
Small sharks, yeah.
I've also, I was actually in CWTB Bay, which is up on the northern east side of South Africa, and we were doing a bunch of fun diving in the area, but one day we wanted to go out and do some depth training. And so I brought my buoy out and I dropped it to 40, and I dropped down and came down on a tiger shark, or not a tiger shark, a bull shark.
Bull shark.
As it was, because it was coming up to look at the bottom weight, because apparently they're really interested with just dangling stuff in the water. So I dove down and I looked up and it was like right there, and I was told that if you see a shark and it's coming close, you should point at it and make eye contact with it, as a way to look pointy and also to let it know that it's there. Because sharks are opportunistic hunters. They are not interested, contrary to every shark movie you've ever seen, they are not interested in just attacking you out of nowhere. They're looking for an easy target, and if you're being aware of where you are around your surroundings and you're making eye contact with them, again, diving with a buddy, all that stuff, you shouldn't really have any issues.
That's right, and they are beautiful creatures, beautiful fishes to look at. It's I always have a lot of pleasure to dive with sharks. I feel safe and secure with them, and they are so beautiful to look at with their strong and powerful movements underwater. And really, we have to pay attention to sharks, and even if they look bad, they are wonderful creatures that we have to protect in our seas. It's very important to protect from fishing, overfishing, protect some bad treatment that humans can do to these animals that have this unfortunate bad reputation due to most of the time to movies.
Yeah, I think the bad reputation actually started with the movie Jaws, and I if I recall correctly, I think Steven Spielberg feels a lot of guilt about making that movie because of how it portrays sharks.
Okay, interesting.
Don't quote me on that, but I believe that's what I've read in the past. I think Ocean Ramsey may have said something about that. If you don't know, Ocean Ramsey is a shark conservationist, a freediver. I believe she's located in Hawaii, although I could be wrong with that. But I know she's a huge ocean conservationist, shark conservationist in particular. Cool. What else do you guys got? Questions? Bring it on. We have an amazing coach here, so if you have any coaching questions,
please go ahead. I would be happy to answer if you have any questions. Go on the chat.
Yeah.
Of the live feed, and you can put a question.
I think we are currently talking about food in Dahab, which is very exciting and makes me a little sad because I'm kind of hungry right now.
Okay.
I didn't have a chance to eat breakfast this morning before I jumped on the boat. But I'm so glad you all are enjoying the food at the Aqua Marina in Dahab, I believe.
Okay, that's Ali's restaurant. Aqua Marina is Ali's restaurant. It's famous Ali Okab that now runs this restaurant since years. and with Mohammed, and for all the free divers that come once in their life in Dahab or come more often, of course, they all go. When you go to the Blue Hole, you make a stop at Ali's restaurant at Aqua Marina, and then you take a nice lemon juice, orange juice, or whatever special drink that is building up, making you especially for free divers. And then after your dive, you eat there, and Ali and Mohammed, they all have this beautiful smile, and they always welcome you warmly. So we are always happy to go there. When I dive here since years, maybe almost 20 years now that I go to Dahab. And each time I go there, and I meet all the freediving community there. So that's also a hot spot for freediving.
Yeah.
This restaurant
is
close to the Blue Hole.
And that restaurant is the absolute epicenter of the freediving.
That's it. Because this is the place where you can talk after your dives, share experiences, share tips and tricks about how to dive deep, of course, and enjoy diving and freediving. So it's
cool. Where is the dive eye, my dudes? It is not in the water at the moment because of current. We're taking a hour-long break, so I think we're about halfway through that hour-long break at the moment.
That's it.
So we're waiting for the current to decrease. If it does decrease to the point where the safeties and the judges feel comfortable letting the divers dive, we will continue to pick up the diving there. If we don't, we will do the diving on the makeup day, which is on the 30th of September.
That's it. So the dive is under maintenance, and there's also the current is playing a role for the dive, but not only. I heard that there was a small maintenance problem that they are fixing right now, and apparently some minutes ago they were about to fix it, so should be okay.
We do have a coaching question. How do you handle the different athletes' mind states while you're helping them in the water, or even while they're breathing up on the boat and getting warmed up?
That's a very good question. And so there's the water, what you do in the water, or even before in the warm-up zone, or before when athletes get ready on the platform. But there's also the time when you have days off and you are at the World Championships. That's what we are experiencing right now. And when the athletes, of course, are preparing for their dives, they are thinking a lot, they have a lot of doubts and questions about how they are going to, if they are going to be able to perform their dives, in which conditions, and which depths are they going to announce. This is a important job, and this psychological aspect is, of course, the thing is difficult to answer because the thing is all the freedivers are different, and they
totally
all
different people,
and they all need a different support, a different way to support them. So, for example, in the French national team that I'm taking care of, according to the personalities, there are some that I do a minimum of support because they can handle themselves well. Okay, they know what to do. Sometimes ask me a small question, and that's okay. Some need a lot more presence, in the sense they need to be reassured about what they are able to do. They need really to have a strong presence from my side, and sometimes, of course, they call me and say, "Oh, Christian, there are this thing, I don't know if I can do it, I don't know if I will be able, what do you think? Do I go to the doctor? I have this small problem, do I do that?" And of course they ask a lot of small questions, and now of course my role is to be present for them and to make sure they feel secure and safe about what is happening during the World Championships. And of course when you are in the water it's a bit different. Some people they want to feel yourself a lot, so you have to talk to them a lot, and some they don't want to be talked at. They prefer to have silence. They have this habit to train and to warm up in the silence. So they just ask me, say, "Christian, please just give me an help. Just bring me to the line. Just tell me the timings," and that's enough. That's enough.
Yeah.
What is interesting here is that all these different personalities are not always related to experience. Means that some people just before we had Brigitte Banegas diving. Brigitte Banegas did a very nice white card on a 51-meter dives.
Yeah.
I think that's almost 20 years she's coming at the World Championships.
Yeah.
So she has a strong experience, but each time she's diving, I feel like it was as if she was diving for the first time. This is really funny, and she's feeling the stress deeply, and she's always motivated to dive, and she's really strong, but I can feel her stress really with a lot of strength, which is, in fact, when you just take a look at her experience, sometimes I feel like, oh, this is really strange. So 20 years of experience in World Championships and still stressed, but that's finally part of the game, and that's quite normal in the sense that we all have different ways of living an event like that. There's some people also. I remember I've been coaching also Guillaume Néry, Morgan Bourchis, top level freedivers, of course, we all know them.
Yeah.
And for example, Guillaume is making a lot of jokes when he's preparing to forget about his stress. He's making a lot of jokes. So when I was together with him, the goal was to make jokes with him and to have fun with him. It was not to try to find the perfect state of
relaxation.
Calm or relaxation.
Yeah.
It was more to make some jokes and tricks, so to make him laugh. And when he was laughing, then I was feeling good. And then okay, let's go. So it was really different than other freedivers.
That's very cool. Yeah, that's that's a huge question to answer, because again, everyone is different and everyone has different needs, and different support desires.
Exactly.
So yeah, it's definitely a tough job, especially managing like a whole team of athletes and knowing like what each one needs. It's a tough job, but it's a very important job too.
I feel it's a really interesting job. I mean, in the sense that this psychological aspects related to individuals is I love to do that really a lot, and I love to share that with athletes. And each time I do it, I'm always surprised by new points, new questions, new way of doing things, and new possibilities to handle that. So I try to take a lot of attention to that, and to make sure that all the athletes feel good, and that's my point. Feel good. Absolutely. And feel safe and secure while preparing for their dives before and doing their dives.
Yeah, absolutely. Where is the lineup? The lineup can be found on the AIDAinternational.org website. If you go to AIDAinternational.org, scroll down to the 27th AIDA World Championship logo, click on that, you will see a menu across the top. The menu on the right-hand side will say Start/Results. You'll click on that, and then today is day 7, because the first 2 days were the training days, so there are no results there. So you're going to look for day 7.
Yes, 7th.
Yes, 7th. Cool. Let's see. What part of the dive should I expect contractions? Say 60 meters? Okay, cool, great. There we can see the lineup for now that we've had so far. Definitely the types of cards.
It was stopped on Alena. I didn't see that Alena also made a dive before.
Okay, I did not see that either.
Yeah.
Interesting. The contractions question is interesting. As we've been saying, everyone is different. Not only personality-wise, but physically. Your ability to handle carbon dioxide. Contractions come from a buildup of CO2, not from a lack of oxygen. And so if you are not very good at handling high levels of CO2 in your body, you could get contractions very early. I know people who get contractions at around 30 seconds to a minute. I personally don't get contractions until around 3.5 minutes. So everyone is different. Everyone has their own sort of thing that happens in their bodies. And so really the only person that can answer that question, de dooms, is you. If you haven't taken a freediving course before, make sure you do, and have a buddy with you whenever you're doing your dives to make sure you're doing it safely. Cool. Next question. Here is a tricky one. What percentage of a freediver's performance comes from genetics, and what percentage comes from training?
Oh, that's a very, very hard question to answer.
That's a loaded question, I think, because I think it definitely depends. And to be honest, I don't think we have the research behind us to actually answer that question.
No, I'm not sure too. What is sure is that we know there are some genetics that are helping freediving. That is helping freediving. We know that some people in the world, for example, the Bajau. This Bajau is these people living in the sea, in the Philippines, have a special genetics that makes them, that helps them to do freediving.
Yeah.
That helps them to go deep, to have a better apnea time. We know that, we have this proof, but we don't know exactly, I think, at this time, if someone has the good genetics or not. So no one is able to say, Brandon, maybe, or myself, we are
the best genetic.
We have the best genetic to practice freediving.
Yeah.
But for sure, there's something that helps. But whatever, finally, if you like freediving, if you love freediving, if you want to freedive, just remind yourself that if you train safely and with good exercises, good trainers, you will improve your level, whatever happens.
Absolutely.
And I'm not sure that even top level athletes here, they all have the proper genetics, but I'm sure about one point, they train a lot and they are motivated a lot.
Absolutely.
So for me, that's the two key points.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, the training that a lot of these athletes put in is huge. Not only physically, not only like physiologically, like working with hypoxia, but also mentally. There's so much training that goes into freediving that, and what I tell all of my patrons when I do my breath sessions is that, you know, we always need to be trying new things, because what worked for you now might not work for you later. What didn't work for you now might work for you better later. And so it's always important to make sure you are trying new things, trying them safely, of course, but keeping an open mind on how you do your mental training, how you visualize things, if you visualize things, and your training as well. So that's my thought on that.
I just take a look downstairs. I take a look if
okay, fantastic.
The competition is going over, and I come back to tell you. Okay.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you. Cool. Let's see. Have some of the athletes gotten COVID, and how do they recover? I don't believe any of the athletes have gotten COVID. We have very strict COVID regulations here. Every time someone gets on the boat, their either vaccination status is checked, or they need to have a negative antigen test that is retested every 3 days. Let's see, how do you prevent swallowing my mouthful? That's a tough question. Training is probably the easiest answer. A lot of divers will do stuff like doing FRC dives, which is where they're diving on a buoy with a line, and they take a full breath in, then they release the air without actually blowing any air out. And then they take a mouthfill at around 5 meters as they slowly pull themselves down, and then practice their mouthfill. They do this because at the level and depth that we need to, that we're sort of losing mouthfill, is quite deep, and we can't do many of those dives per day. So doing FRC dives, or RV, where we blow all of the air out of our lungs and then take a little bit of a mouthfill on the surface, that is a way to train your glottis control so that you don't lose your mouthfill as it escapes back down into your throat. That's a very basic answer. Again, there are resources online. I know Adam Stern has a video online where he discusses mouthfill and equalization issues in general. So please do check out Adam Stern on YouTube if you want more information on that. Let's see. Yeah, I don't quite know if Elena does have a red card or not.
Okay, competition is cancelled.
It's canceled?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I've just received notice that we are going to be canceling the rest of today. Obviously, we are prioritizing the divers' safety and also, too, the safety of our safety divers. I mean, they're also going down. They are, having to watch these divers, and they're also battling the difficult current conditions. So judges and organizers have made a decision to just cancel the rest of the event for today, and we will pick up probably on September 30th for this, since there's a lot of divers to get through.
That's true. We see the choice of the organizers about the postponing of these dives. What is sure is now all the red cards that have been diving this morning, they're gonna ask themselves if they want to protest.
Yes.
So this afternoon there's gonna be a hard job for the jury to decide if they accept this protest or not.
Yeah.
First, because the conditions were hard, and for sure, probably for these red cards, part of these red cards is due also to the conditions.
Yes.
So will they accept to postpone these dives too for certain divers that will protest, or for the whole of the free divers? That's a big question. So well, stay tuned on the AIDA Facebook pages.
Yep,
Stay
AIDA
tuned
Facebook,
on,
AIDA Freediving on Instagram, and we'll also have the results from today posted on the website as well. So yeah, keep following all of our social media stuff. We'll let you know how things progress, and I think we'll end up seeing everybody tomorrow. As I said, conditions are supposed to be improving over the course of today.
The big question, of course, is the question about this current. That is sometimes some days here, some days not.
Yeah.
And this is almost impossible to predict.
Yeah.
So for the wind and the sun, we predict. For the current here, we don't predict. So this can make a huge difference, especially in constant no fins, as we saw this morning.
Yes.
So let's see what happens for this event, this women constant no fins. I think tomorrow, anyway, there will be the men constant no fins with I think a great show, probably with let's say Alexei Molchanov, of course.
Alexei should be being here. Yes.
Yeah, of course, doing a strong announcement. There will be Petar Klovar also.
Petar, yes.
And we'll see Abdelatif Alouache also.
Yes.
These three guys, they were on the podium yesterday.
Yep.
Of the free immersion, and I think they are going to play the podium tomorrow for the constant no fins. So stay tuned for this very important event tomorrow too.
Yes, absolutely. Cool. Okay, well, I think that's going to be it for us. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you very much, Brandon. Thank you.
Definitely
for your welcoming.
Definitely made the hour of talking much easier rather than having to just talk to myself the whole time. And thank everybody on the internet watching for your questions, for your comments, and for your support for all the divers, for AIDA and the event as a whole. And before I go, I want to just make a quick shout out to all of our sponsors. If you guys could post, show the results from today, and also show the sponsors on the, no, this way, the right-hand side, left-hand side of the screen, that would be fantastic.
Okay, guys.
Okay.
See you tomorrow.
Cool. Yes, there we go.
See you,
Double
brother.
K, Best Dive, Paralens, EDT Offshore, and all of our other sponsors. Cool. Thank you so much. We'll see you tomorrow.
C'est coupé.
Got an appetite, let's bake ourselves a treat. What you've been mixing, serve it up the way you please. I like the way you shake, you stir, you hear, you squeeze. So thick, push up and butter me. So poke that, push that, shake that, smack that, mix that, up that, marinate that. We don't need a recipe. Whip that cream, baby. Pour that sweet on serving up like 5,000 degrees. It's almost ready, we've been craving this all week. Baby, you want it, I got it. I'm hooked on you like phonics. Gotta be honest, you're on it, and this ain't no time to be modest.
Poke that, push that, shake that, girl, take your last name, let's hyphenate that. We don't need a recipe.
Whip that cream, baby, pour that sweet on me. Baby, shade it, we can cook up, we can stir up when we hook up, just you and me. Whip that cream, whip that
Best Dive has more than 20 years of experience in developing and manufacturing wetsuits. We use 100% Yamamoto neoprene with exclusive material license in China. Freediving champion Jessie Liu is our global ambassador. We collaborate closely with international and domestic freediving events. In 2018, Best Dive was awarded the title of the most popular domestic brand by AIDA China. We offer a variety of styles and high-quality services. You are welcomed at Best Dive. Best Dive has more than 20 years of experience in developing and manufacturing